Okay, ladies and gents, and today we're talking about a subject. I mean, it is something that's offended. I mean, that's about Christianity. It is perhaps most common belief that says can only be forgiven in this life. That's actually not true. At least there's no verse that points to it. We often use Hebrews 9:27 as it is appointed to man must die, but after the judgment. I mean, what it says, it doesn't say. What most people try to make it say, try to make it say as it's appointed unto man wants to die, and after that there's no, it's too late to be forgiven. Actually, that's very wrong. We could go Old Testament passage, but I think it's important to keep it brief. What does Hebrews 1 Peter 4:6 talk about Christ preaching the Spirit's prison? We also read in 1 Peter 3, where we can Christ prison and what's been translated as hell in the King James, all called Hades, Sheol, the mansion of the dead, whatever you may call it. And so why is it important? Is it intense? I mean, there's a few points about this in Matthew 12:31-32. Which is like quite indications that our sin may not be forgiven in this age, but it can also be forgiven later, or not at all, which is sad, but we know that it happens. Matthew 12:31 and 32. What does it read? Where we say unto you, all sins shall be forgiven to man, but the blasphemy against the Holy Ghost shall not be forgiven. Whoever shall speak against Son shall be forgiven unto him, but whoever speaketh against the Holy Spirit shall not be forgiven, neither in this age nor in the age to come. Now, my friend, why is this important? I mean, what's the Greek word for age? Aeon. It can also mean a span of time, and it can also mean an eternity. It can mean span of time. There is no determined last, but this age. I mean, this age. What can I heard it say? Actually, challenged with it, and actually maybe should. And it was okay. I mean, I don't think it was a coincidence. It was something the Holy Spirit. So, and let's see. I mean, the preacher, I think he did not, before I believe he did not wrote a comment on us there, but it was removed, and I don't think it was a man removing them. It was just typical for YouTube. So let's see what age. It means there is, of course, it can mean it's this life, the afterlife. I mean, there are the afterlife. I mean, read about an afterlife, and the afterlife, of course, many steps, but okay, let's focus on what it means, age. Of time. Now we have the upcoming age, the millennium. Perhaps, but if we read in the book of Isaiah, we read about time and sign in Matthew, and then about Isaiah 56:65. One passage that often is talking about the millennium, that is actually talking about the new heaven and new earth, which which is also something we don't know, and it's also man has a great wisdom, but in the end, even from him, I may not picking everything because there's a good reason I'm not supporting any ministries. Kind of extreme stance, isn't it? Yeah, but did the early Christians need any ministries to him other than Christ and Paul's? No, I don't think so. I mean, it's the word. We have the word. We have the words God gave us, and I believe we do not have the freedom to ignore all that. And yes, translation can, if you look how the Greek, it becomes revealed it was not all written perfect, and yeah, King James is, but we must never base it on a translation. We must base it on what it actually means and not what we think it says, because more often than not, it does not mean what we think it says. So what is it? Yeah, Matthew 65 talks about. But there is, can we talk about the age to come? Absolutely, the age to come. Yeah, it's something, but it definitely shows that since, yes, it can be forgiven. And yeah, but the blessing of the Holy Spirit, not forgiven, be given in this life and nor in life afterwards. So be very careful what you say, because yeah, it may be held against you, and that is horrible. Yeah, here Isaiah 65, verse 17. For behold, I create new heavens and a new earth, and the former shall not be remembered, nor come into mind. But be ye glad and rejoice forever in that which I create. For behold, I create Jerusalem, rejoicing and have people of joy. And I will rejoice in Jerusalem, and joy in my people. And the voice of weeping shall be no more heard in her, nor the voice of crying. There shall be no more friends an infant of days, nor an old man that have not filled his days. For the child shall die 100 years old, but the sinner being 100 years old shall be accursed. I will say I have not the answer from the Holy Spirit. What's this? Cursed? Can people still be accursed after the millennium? We know it happens in the millennium, but again, this is not the millennium anymore. But it shows that, yeah, it doesn't really live. This age isn't the only age where sins may be forgiven. Again, I've still not received the answer whether in this context it is about, yeah, this life in the afterlife, or say, the age to come. Age ion means, some people that have already have their afterlife, before I've started my life here. And yeah, we're starting in Zechariah 14. Let's begin in verse 5. And ye shall flee to the valley of the mountains, for the valley of the mountains shall reach unto Azal. Yeah, ye shall flee, like as ye fled from before the earthquake in the days of Uzziah king Judah. And the Lord my God shall come, and all the saints with thee. And it shall come to pass in that day that the light shall not be clear nor dark, but shall be one day which shall be known to the Lord, no day nor night, but shall come to pass that evening shall be light, and it shall be day that living water shall go out from Jerusalem, half of them far to hidden sea, in summer and in winter it shall be, and the Lord shall be king over all earth, and the day shall be one Lord, and his name one. We know that this is the second coming. Let's continue. All the land shall be turned as a plain, from Java to Rimmon, south of Jerusalem, and shall be lifted up, and inhabited in their place, from Benjamin's gate unto the first gate, unto the corner gate, and from the tower of Hananel unto the king's wine presses. And man shall dwell in it. There shall be no more utter destruction, but Jerusalem shall be safely inhabited. And this shall be the plague, wherewith the Lord will smite all the people that fought against Jerusalem. The flesh shall consume away, whereas if stand upon the feet, and the eye shall consume away in the holes, and their tongue shall consume away in the mouth. And it shall come to pass in that day that the great arm of the Lord shall be among everyone of his neighbor, and it shall rise to his neighbor. Okay, so this talks about, yeah, how the millennium is built. And Judah also shall fight at Jerusalem, and the wealth of the heathen round shall be gathered together, gold and silver and apparel in great abundance. And so shall the plague of the horse, of the mule, of the camel, and of the ass, and of all beasts, pretend as this plague you. And it shall come to pass that everyone that is left of all the nations which came against Jerusalem shall even go up from year to year to worship the King. Tabernacles, so yeah, from year to year, 1,000 years of the 1,000 years. I mean, there will. I mean, it's still the millennium. And it shall be that whoso will not come up to families of the earth unto Jerusalem to worship the King, the Lord of hosts, even upon them shall be no rain. And with the family of Egypt go not up, and come not and have no rain, there shall be the plague to where the Lord will smite the heathen that come not up to keep the feast of the tabernacles. This shall be the punishment of Egypt, and the punishment of all nations that come not up to keep the feast of tabernacles. In that day shall be upon the bells of horses holiness unto the Lord. And the pots in the Lord's house shall be in the bowls before the altar. Like, well, yeah, every pot in Jerusalem and Judah shall be holiness unto the Lord of hosts, and all things that sacrifice shall come and take off them and see therein. And in the days it shall be no more the Canaanite in the house of the hosts. Yeah, this is, and as for Isaiah 65, it is not the same. I think it's not a situation where this is very different. That is the words. I mean, is the age to come the last age? I'm not sure. I mean, I've preached, but I'm not blindly accepting everything. As example, I wanted to write about the age, but yeah, YouTube somehow must have swallowed it up. It's they shall build. That's Isaiah 65. Let's continue to verse 1. And they shall build houses, inhabit them, and they shall plant vineyards and eat the fruit of them. They shall not build, and another inhabit. They shall not plant, and another eat. For as the days of a tree, they are the days of my people. Mine elect shall long enjoy the work of their hands. They shall not labor in vain, nor bring forth for trouble. For they are the seed of the blessed of the Lord, and their offspring with them. And it shall come to pass that before they call, I will answer, and while they are speaking, I will hear. The wolf and the lamb shall feed together, and the lion shall eat straw like the bullock, and dust shall be the serpent's meat. They shall not by a holy mountain, saith the Lord. As an example here, well, I mean, we can also abide in the. But I think since we are now at nearly 40 minutes, let's end this video at this point, and yeah, we will continue in part 2.